Hey everybody, I thought I would share with you today my April 2016 Midori notebook. Yes, I know it's June, but sometimes life gets in the way. So on the front, I don't do a whole lot of decorating the front, but I did put the April sticker that came in my Daisy Dory kit from Coco Daisy. And I also used a couple of washi tapes. I think this top one was the one that came with the kit, and the bottom one was one that I pulled from my stash. I also used another washi tape here on the opening pages. This is one from my stash. And I didn't do a whole lot to that opening page, which I never do, but I did put a little heart on the 15th because that was the fella's birthday. Opening up, you can see my first spread is about spring break and what I did each day. It's not super specific. I did include a couple of photos from that week, an embellishment or two, and then I titled it Staycation. I just wrote that in my own handwriting, and that worked out pretty well because spring break was actually the first week of April. So that was kind of a happy accident that I put that at the very beginning, even though I don't usually give much thought to whether my extra pages in my Midori are in chronological order or not. I have my quoted pages. These are some of my favorite pages to do every month. And I take quotes from blogs that I read, from newspaper articles, from things that I see on Pinterest or on Facebook. Sometimes they're from television shows or magazines, but it's very much it's very much a wide variety of topics and approaches, and I really like that. I also included a couple of the embellishments from this month's kit, as well as some letter stickers that I've been trying to use up over the last few months. I tried a little bit of art journaling, and I kind of suck at drawing flowers and various things, but it was sort of fun, I guess, to sketch it out with a pencil and then to work on it with my markers. I'm not especially proud of it, but I can live with it. I guess it's okay. I also have a spread here about some of the creative goals or projects that I have planned coming up. Some of these are ongoing projects. Some of them are not related to scrapbooking. I have a list of 10 layouts that I could make. I have some videos that I wanted to make and some mini albums that I wanted to work on as well. I have to be honest, I haven't been especially creative in the last month or so because of everything that was going on with my dogs. But hopefully I'll get some of these things knocked out here soon. I made a list on the next page. You guys know I love to make a list, and this is a list of things that I don't like. And maybe that sounds kind of negative, but I thought it might be sort of a fun layout or maybe a fun mini album to do, because the things that I don't like are not necessarily things that other people don't like. So for example, I don't like movies. As a general rule, I would prefer to stream television series on my own terms rather than commit to a 2 or 3 hour movie. And that's not something that a lot of people, understand or agree with, and that's totally fine. But it is something that makes me unique, I guess. I also talk a little bit, like number 15 is putting away laundry. I don't really hate washing it or drying it, but putting it away is just such a soul-sucking activity that I dread it, and I end up putting it off as long as possible. So this was kind of fun. I don't know. I didn't mean for it to be super negative, but I thought it might be kind of cool to use this as a sparking point in some future layout or mini album project or something like that. And I did include some of the little embellishments that were included in the Coco Daisy kit this month. This next page is likewise basically just a list. It's my thoughts on spring, things that I like, things that I don't like, things that I'm thinking about, You know, yard work, of course, is included. My upcoming trip to Europe is included. And I just use these same 3 washi tapes here in the middle to kind of create a sense of continuity throughout the Midori notebook. I have a piece of old flare here. I want to say maybe that's October afternoon, but I'm not 100%. And then I have this chipboard sticker, and I wrote it in turquoise ink, you know, just for a little something different. Over here on the left, I was making some notes about our plans for International Scrapbooking Day on May the 7th. We had that in our Facebook community. So if you're not a member of the Scrap Gals Facebook community, that's something that I would certainly recommend. I am the co-host for the Scrap Gals podcast. And we had a really fun day on International Scrapbooking Day. And you can always go back to our community and take a look at that if you missed it. Over here on the right, I have a picture and just a little bit of information about one of my favorite moments of the week is getting a massage. I go a couple of times a month and I see Haley. She is excellent. If you're local, I would recommend her without reservation. But if I were independently wealthy, I'd get a massage every single day. And I would definitely get one once a week if I could justify the expense. But as it is, I just go every other week these days. This is a page about my pups. You can see that there's a photo of Louder Dog and a photo of Charlie Dog. I included a couple of the embellishments from either this month's kit or a past kit from Cocoa Daisy. I couldn't even tell you which. And then I had these old labels that were a cut apart sheet that I just cut apart, and then I copied a quote that I thought was really good. Until one is loved an animal, a part of one's soul remains unawakened. And it fits so nicely. I thought that was great. Visually interesting, but not a whole lot of work, which is the recipe for a successful Midori notebook, if you ask me. I worked on my June blog calendar, and this, of course, now it is June that you're seeing this video, and I have to be honest, I'm not sure how much I'm going to follow it because I've changed my blogging approach. I'm using a calendar approach now, but I didn't want to tear it out. I didn't see any reason to get rid of it. Over here on the right, I was working on my list of things I need to buy before I go to Europe. You can see that I have bought most of them. I changed my mind about taking my laptop, so that's not applicable. And then I used some more of that washi tape for some cohesiveness. I drew a little scene of buildings for this page. Again, I'm trying the art journal thing, guys, and it just doesn't come naturally to me. It's not something that is fun yet. It's not something that I feel good about yet, but I'm going to keep working on it and hopefully I will get there. I used some of my watercolor markers and just played around a little bit. I talked a little bit about spring in Kentucky. Here's a picture of me wearing my rain boots and commenting a little bit about so much rain that we had in both April and May. And then you can see where I started my calendar pages. And the calendar pages are not, you know, really decorated. They're not anything super exciting, just sort of what's going on in my life in a given week. You can see there are things marked out. There are things that got canceled, and that's okay. At the very end of my Midori notebook, I have included a selfie. That's something that I've really been working on. I want to include a selfie every month. And I tried to think of some positive things that I see in that selfie, because if you're like me and like most women, you probably have a tendency to focus on the negative. So I talk a little bit about the things that I like, and that you know, being nice to myself is a good exercise, I think, for all of us. And then here at the end, I have just a list of some upcoming dates because I would need to transfer those over into my next album. The very last page was already printed from Cocoa Daisy, so I didn't put anything there. I do like to keep clips in a couple of pages or a couple of places in my album. I like to keep a clip at the back of it. And then I also like to clip together my calendar pages so that I can see where those begin. But there you have it, my April 2016 Midori notebook. I hope you guys will tune in next month, hopefully, when I can share with you my May Midori. Maybe it won't take me a whole month. Maybe I can get that out in the next couple of weeks. Don't hold me to it. All right, talk to you soon. Go and be crafty.